What is going on, everybody? I wanted to do this last night, but I was so tired. I've been getting a lot of questions. I hope everybody is doing well. I love all you guys. Again, I wanted to do this last night, but Jason was just beat and tired and everything else. So I've been getting a lot of questions about this. I've done some other interviews. And it comes down to the point of hell. All of you are, or most of you, are so wrapped up in the Bible and thoroughly believe that I'm speaking to demons and that the devil has some kind of spell on me. And that is coming from individuals that have not crossed over to the other side, have no idea what they're talking about. And yet they're telling me that I'm talking to demons, right? And I just, I have to not laugh at it, but I have to understand that if I was you guys and I was listening to somebody talk about this, I would instantly say the same thing, right? That this guy's going to go to hell. This person is going to go to hell for, you know, believing in such filth or spreading all these lies, you know. And the fact of the matter is that there is no hell. It does not exist. Hell is simply a state of mind. Okay? It's your thoughts. Remember what I said earlier, everybody, that your thoughts create your reality. And that is very true. Those that are living in darkness, those that are suffering from disease, those are like depression, anxiety, alcoholism, drug abuse. It's a state of mind. But some could say, well, that's the symptoms of the drugs. Well, what took you to start taking those drugs, right? Hell is simply a state of mind. And that is where, when all of you are listening to other people's NDEs, like Howard Storm and others that say, I have been to hell and God saved me and pulled me out of the depths of hell, isn't true. You're creating those thoughts, that anger, right? That you left this world in, or you're tied to this physical world with money, or I can't die, I have a really good job, I can't die, I have a good home. All of this, right? You cannot bring that home to the not you can't bring that home from here, okay? Because this place doesn't exist. So if you're still holding on to the realities of this physical, realm that we're in, you're going to end up in the void. You're going to end up in darkness, because that is what you are attracting, right? Is that darkness. So sitting there and worrying about it isn't going to do anything. You have to raise your vibration. And when people tell me that I'm talking to demons, when I'm explaining the absolute beauty of my own death and my transition to the other side, is just mind-boggling, because we have so many really, really good, positive, near-death experiencers that are talking about their stories and have all of these wonderful things to say. And then it's just the few, the very small minority out there that have these dark, let's put it that way, dark NDEs, where they call it hell. They're just calling it hell because they created a bad scenario for themselves. That's all, and in the case of Howard Storm, if any of you had went and saw that movie After Death, which was the only reason I went to go see that, was, to hear other people's stories, were I wanted to hear Howard Storm. How were they going to portray that? And I think they did a fantastic job. And I'll give you a little bit of lowdown on that. When he was I think he had pancreatic cancer, or his pancreas blew up or something. Right? He's in the hospital, and then his wife is sitting by his side, and he left his body. He transitioned. He's dying, and it's such a natural thing. That's what is really hard for you guys to understand, that the transition home, or what you would call death, which doesn't exist. Death does not exist. Okay. When you leave your body, when it's time to go home, it is such a peaceful transition. You just simply leave your body, right? And in the case of Howard Storm, he's standing in the hospital room and he's screaming at his wife. Nobody can hear him. He's terrified, right? And right now, in that moment, he's in the void, right? Because he's angry. He's upset. I can't die. He's saying, I can't die. I have a great job. I'm a professor. I'm married. I have a good home. I have beautiful cars. He's holding on to the physical world, which doesn't exist, right? So as he's screaming, as he's angry, he is creating or living in fear. What is fear? It's low vibration. It's darkness. So he had, these hooded beings came over and took him, somewhere and started tearing at him. He's creating this in his mind. And as a non-religious person, he was fumbling around in his thoughts to come up with something. And he finally started saying, half-assing it, the Our Father, and God. And the moment he did that, the light appeared. He raised his vibration. He raised his energy, right? And the light came, and he was drawn into the light and brought home. So if you have to do something, heaven, because your heart and mind are one. So heart is home or heaven. Hell is your head, your thoughts. Again, your thoughts create your reality. And no matter what you're doing here and now, they create the world that you see every day. Remember how powerful you are. And for a lot of you, that's just mind-boggling to think that there are actually demons, that there's actually a fallen angel that was booted out of heaven to try and overthrow God, source, oneness, all that is. It's ludicrous. How many of you actually believe in Santa Claus? I know mommy and daddy told you that Santa Claus was real, right? Is Santa Claus real? The Tooth Fairy? The Easter Bunny? So why would you believe the bullshit that comes from the Bible? When the church told you that, he was the only son of God. No. But you all blindly follow a book written 2 millennia ago by rich, powerful, educated beings, when the vast majority of society 2 millennia ago couldn't read or write. Kind of like our Constitution, right? Most of those people couldn't read or write 250 years ago. But yet they created a document that we all blindly follow, which is ludicrous. It is impossible for an angel to fall. And I've been getting a lot of these questions lately, or ridicules. I mean, I wouldn't say a lot, but enough of them that I have to discuss this with you guys. It is physically impossible for an angel to fall. And the only reason any of us here on this planet, right here, right now, are here is because our Father is allowing it. Okay? Because he is allowing it. We don't have to be here. Okay? God does not have to allow us to be here at all, in any way, shape, or form, to put up with this insanity that we've created. That is how much God loves you, that you are allowed to be here in a physical body, in a physical form, to experience a physical existence. It is not why we were created. We were created out of love by our Father, from love. We are the direct manifestations of God, imbued with the same love, light, and powers as our Father. Many gods. We are all gods. I've told this to you before, and for some of you, you cannot grasp that idea. That you think the world that you see every day is a direct result of our God. No, the world you see on a daily basis when you wake up is a direct representation of your own thoughts. You create your reality every day. And if you want to change it, you've got to get out of your head and fix it. That means if you're depressed, you've got to get out of the darkness. God is not going to come pick you up, pat you up on the butt and say, come on now, you can do better, let's go. No, it's called free will. And he's going to allow you to sit in that for 1 year, 6 months, 5 years, 20 years, or your whole life, right? Disease does not exist. It only exists because you believe it does. Again, going back to your thoughts create your reality. Okay? If you believe in cancer, therefore you give cancer power and you will have cancer. Period. That's it. It's that simple. That is how powerful you are. Okay? So I am going to be understanding with you guys. Like, if I did not have my near-death experience, if I did not die, if I did not drown in my own blood, and I was listening to somebody like myself talk about this, I would absolutely say you're going to hell. Best of luck when Satan gets a hold of you. You're a fool. Well, guess what? Hell does not exist. There is no Satan. There is no fallen angel. There are no demons. They do not exist. The church has been lying to you for millennia, and they know it. There's no such thing as sin. Sin does not exist. Sin, if you have to put a terminology to it coming from Jesus himself, simply means a lack of love. If you don't love your neighbor, that means you don't love yourself. If you don't love yourself, how can you love your children or your offspring or your husband or your wife or your grandparents? You can't. Okay? Everything comes down to love. Love is everything. So I will backtrack into how we got here again, all right? When God wants something from us when we're home, home is what the Catholic Church and all of you listen to is heaven. It doesn't exist. It's a made-up term from the church. It's simply home. It's where we come from, another dimension. Okay? That's it. So when God wants something from us, he comes to all of us and says, hey, I want this. Okay? And we come together, every single one of us that's on this planet and at home, we come together as a collective consciousness and create it for him. Why? We're gods. We're creators. We created this universe. And I'll get to that in a minute. So we got the big idea one day, and you can transition this into a biblical story. You'll understand it. All right? So we got the idea one day that I want to call the shots. I want to make the decisions. Why do I always have to listen to the old man? Right? So we come to Father and say, I want to be the boss. I want to call the shots. And this is what you'll understand this in the Bible now, right? He said, yeah, okay, fine. Hi, Melissa. How are you, hon? Sorry I didn't have the comments on. You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome, right? So he said, okay, which is the ultimate act of love, ladies and gentlemen, for us to be here right now. He's allowing us to do this, right? So the moment we did this, and he said yes, it created three things: fear, guilt, and the ego. Okay? So now you know it as the moment we all began to dream and we all began to do this, boom, you know it as the Big Bang. The universe was created. God has nothing to do with this. God does not want anything to do with this. So when people say, Jason, evil exists, no, it doesn't. Yes, it does. What about all these mass shootings? What about this? What about that? I said, God answered you. No, he didn't. Why is he allowing this to happen? Why? Number one, God did not create this. We did, right? This is our playground that we chose to call the shots, be the big boys on the block, right? Second of all, these are not his rules. They're our rules. He, God, source, oneness, is not going to step in and interfere. We created this mess. We got to get ourselves out of it. So you know it in the Bible as being kicked out of heaven, right? Getting booted out. Well, we weren't booted out. We chose to leave. When we stepped away from oneness, we created fear, guilt, and the ego, right? And now all of you, most of you, are terrified of what you've created. When you look out there, the mass shootings, the rapings, the beatings, the beheadings, all of this, right? You're not happy with it. You want to change. You have to change your thoughts. You all have to become more loving. Love is everything. Love is the only way we are going to fix this. It has nothing to do with demons. Me talking to demons that don't exist. I'm telling you the truth, right? I'm not upset by you guys being mad at that. I'm just befuddled that I'm not the only one speaking of this, right? There are others that are, speaking the same truth that you don't want to believe. You want to believe the parts of the Bible that you want to believe because it resonates with you. Well, 98% of the Bible is garbage. It's fear-based. It's you believing in a human God ready to smite thee for any infraction, waiting for you to send you to an imaginary place, like in my last video that I did, the fires of Gehenna, right? Sending you to a lake of fire. Well, they turned a garbage dump, an eternal garbage dump that's been burning for millennia, right, into a lake of fire, a pit in hell that doesn't exist. And if it did, I was the one that was going to go there from everything that I did, from my bisexuality at an early age, my bisexuality experiences, the outright rejection of the Holy Spirit, which is, to all of you Bible thumpers out there listening, the unforgivable sin. It is unforgivable. If it's unforgivable, how did I go home? I'll tell you why I went home. Because it doesn't exist. There is no Holy Spirit. We're gods. We don't need a Holy Spirit. We simply go home when we're done with this. Like when any of you have reptiles, when your snakes shed skins, we shed these bodies like snakes shed skins. Whoop, we're done with it. And I had no love of this when I was out and about, out of my body. None. These bodies are simply like astronauts going into space. They put on a spacesuit. It's nothing more than that. You don't call yourself a Jeep Grand Cherokee or a Honda or a Toyota or a Chevy Tahoe, do you? When you get in car to go to work or go to the grocery store, is that how you resonate with yourself? Then why would you resonate with yourself when I'm in a male vehicle and you're in a female vehicle? The only reason you're in that vehicle is because that's what you needed to accomplish your mission here. Okay? That's it. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Fear doesn't exist. Okay? Let's put it this way. Remember when I talked about my video about the two keys that God gave us, two things, our sexual energy, right? We weren't abandoned, and he gave us our guidance system, right? Our guidance system points home. When you're in line with your guidance system, you're in love, right? You're laughing, you're making love, you're cuddling, you're kissing, you're having a good time, you're doing whatever. The moment you step out of alignment with love, right? What happens? You become scared, fearful, angry, pissed off, right? So say tomorrow, right? You have a good job, right? And you're kind of like most Americans living paycheck to paycheck. You walk into work and they call you into the office, you're terminated. Your spouse isn't working. You just had a brand new baby. What's the first thing that's going to enter your mind? Right? Oh, fuck. You're going to panic. right? Now you're out of alignment with love. Your higher self is talking to you. And what did you just do? You created that fear. It didn't just appear there, right? For all you that want to come into the studio, if you see that down there, put that in your HTTP and you can come into the studio with me. But you just created that. It doesn't exist until you give it power over yourself, right? Instead of saying, okay, one door closed, we're going to be all right. I'll find another job. Help me out. But no, you're worried about paying the bills. Bills aren't real, right? You're worried about taking care of wife and the baby. You become afraid, scared. Why do humans love such a will to survive if it's an illusion? Because you're caught up in your own dream, right? Remember, this is a dream. Like when you have a nightmare in the middle of the night, a really bad one, right? And you wake up and you're screaming and you're sweating and you go, you just haven't woken up from the real dream, right? Like when I died, I woke up from the dream. What was gone? Fear was no longer there. Guilt was no longer there. And guess what? The ego was dead. For however long I was at home, no more ego. There was no more fear. I knew exactly where I was and who I was, right? But then when I came back into my body and I came home to eviction notices, my car had been repossessed, I fell back into fear, depression, anxiety. I was creating it, right? That's all it is. And that's because you believe so strongly in your dream. And that's what Jesus was sent here for, to wake you up. Look, people, this isn't real. Wake up and realize who you are. And that's my job now. And when Jesus said, you will do greater things than I, and I kept scratching my whole head for my whole life as a Catholic, as a Christian. How the hell can I do things better than you when you're raising the dead and healing leprosy and doing all of the, what are you talking about? That's not what he was talking about. He's talking about what I am doing now for all of you. I've had this experience. I've been home. I know the truth, right? This is all a lie. It's been fabricated by the church to cover up who Jesus really was, what he came here to do. And that's all it was. That's what his whole mission was love. Wake up. Love your neighbor as yourself. Why? Your neighbor is you. The guys in Russia, the girls in Russia, they are you. You're projectors. Remember, you're dreaming this. So everybody on this planet is just a different version of you. It was a good question. And I'm glad you asked that. Like job loss and death, family. When you come in, well, you've planned your own transition home, okay? So you chose your parents, you chose how you came into this world, right? You chose your vehicle, you chose where you were going to be born into, like the Western society. For me here in the United States, some of you are in Europe, Africa, wherever. You chose where you were going to be born so you could experience those life experiences, those things that you planned on. Okay. For me, it was here in the Midwest, in the West. Okay. So you chose those experiences and you will experience them. I promise you that. Okay. You will experience those things. So they're pre-planned and you will meet them. Like you want to go to college, right? You want to get married, have children. You want to experience, maybe what a car crash is. You're going to get in a car crash. You may experience maybe being in gunfights. Some of the female vehicles, they may want to experience what it's like to be raped. Okay, you choose these things because we don't know what that is from home. All we know is love. Remember, we are unconditional love. So if all we know is unconditional love and being a light, a white light, how do we know what black is? Blue, pink, yellow. We don't. So we come into this playground that we call the universe so we can test these things out. It's like a test server, right? It doesn't count. It doesn't matter. But in actuality, It does, because as I talked before, the ripple effect, what you do in this life matters, because it's going to affect your future lives and what you would consider your past lives. Okay? So it matters. And when I say to love one another, when I say to forgive one another, I don't care what has happened to you, how horrific it was. I'm sorry that you went through it. I went through some very horrific things. And I chose to forgive. And it's hard. It is the hardest thing you guys will ever have to do. But you have to face your fears. You have to face them. You have to relive them. That is it. That is the only thing you will leave with. I don't care if you have a $500 million in the bank, 5 cars, 500 cars, 5 million mansions. You will take none of it with you, because none of it is real. The only thing that is real here in this physical realm is love. That's it. Love is everything. Love conquers all. It crushes the darkness. It crushes the fear. So when you live in love, when those crazy thoughts start to seep into your head, remember, that's the ego. Okay? The ego attacks, condemns, and judges. The modes of attack. So when those thoughts start creeping in, you've got to immediately crush it. Crush it. Say, I am worthy. I am love. You can go yourself. Go, and remain in love. And that's what the non-physical wants to see you do, is start to battle the ego, to start killing him, to put him in his place, to put your foot on his face and keep him down. So when I started this, I just wanted to vent a little bit about me talking to Satan and demons and believing in all it. It just doesn't exist. And I just wanted to clear the air with that and go on from there. So you guys have any questions for me? Happy Saturday, everybody, by the way. I love you guys. Reincarnation, sure. As all of you know, I have died over 3,200 times. When I was in my second out-of-body experience in a beautiful other dimension where, I don't know, but it felt like home again, a place that I had been my entire existence from my inception, right? And when I asked my guide, who was Jeffrey, I was like, how many times have I been here? How many times have I died? And it was an instant number. It was instant communication, over 3,200. And I was called ancient. And then I was pulled back, and then I had to do research on that. When we signed the contract to come here, okay, when we stood before Father and said, now we don't have to come here. There's no rules about coming here. It's your there are many souls up there that want no part of this insanity. They're like, I don't understand why you guys want to suffer like that. We're revered by home, by all of home. When we come home, it is a celebration. We are welcomed home because of the stuff we go through, right? But when we stood before Father, how do you think life on Earth would be like if everyone knew what you knew? We would be living in the golden age. And I'll get to that in a minute, but I want to finish answering this question. So when we stood before Father, when we got with our overlord or supervisor, we got with our archangel and we got with our guides, and we drew out a plan, a contract of all the things we wanted to experience, right? Now you come before Father and you show him what you want to experience. One of two things is going to happen. He's going to say nope, or he'll allow it. And since we're here, he allowed it. Now, this is what all of you get stuck on. Okay? You cannot finish that contract in one lifetime. Period. End of subject. It's going to take thousands of lifetimes. So once you start this shit show, okay, once you start down this path, you have to learn your lessons. You have to learn that love is the only thing that matters. Okay? And until you do, you're going to keep incarnating until you finally realize that I can't do this anymore. I have to love. I have to forgive. Okay. And eventually, over thousands of lifetimes, you will become enlightened like Jesus. And that will be your last incarnation. You will no longer incarnate after that life. Period. You will stay home. And then you may be a mentor to another being that wants to come down here and experience it. Then you will guide them, right? Which could be a part of your soul family or somebody else, So to answer your question, then once we become enlightened, if we all lived in love, if we all forgave one another, and we all, made love to one another, we would be living in the golden age. There would be no need for wars. No one would be killed in a war. No one would go homeless. No one would go without food. Everybody would love one another, and everybody would take care of one another. Because this is going to surprise you too, all right? If any of you are married, all right? What's yours is mine. What's mine is yours. That is directly coming from Father. That means if you're married and say you met me and, I jived with your wife and your wife and I made love, Father's going, yay. Okay. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. God doesn't hold you accountable for some stupid piece of paper for eternity. That's the Catholic Church. No. So if we all loved one another like this, we'd be living in the golden age, and that is coming, but it's going to come at a price with World War III if we don't learn to do that now. Okay, when we exterminate ourselves from this planet, basically, almost, those that are left are going to go, we can't do this anymore. It ends right now. We will become an egalitarian society, which means men and women, men and female vehicles will be as one. No difference. None. Everything will be equal. There'll be no more wars, no more homelessness, no more hunger, no more anything but love. And we will use AI with brutal efficiency and create a highly advanced civilization. It is coming. You're more than welcome. I've got to work harder. We all do. Without my near-death experience, I would be just as lost. I would still be in the hateful, low vibration, low energy rage that I was in. And I choose love on a daily basis, a minutely, secondly basis. Of course, you're going to populate afterwards. Yeah, we're just going to be as we're and what's taking place now with this, right? Is we're transitioning into the 5D consciousness, right? We're moving into a higher dimension, a higher form of consciousness, much smarter. Okay, those beings are going to be much smarter, and they are going to use that with ruthless efficiency. They're going to advance solar technology, and it will be clean technology. All our power, all our needs will come from the sun. And we will have clean fusion. Okay. No more electronics, no more fossil fuels. Those days are over. Within the next 50 years, all fossil fuels will be gone. Okay. Will be gone. And I said clean fusion. So between clean solar and clean fusion, all our power is met. All fossil fuels are gone. So you're going to be able, we may look a little bit different because we're transitioning into the crystalline bodies. Remember that video that I did? So carbon base is gone. We're moving into crystalline, which is absorbing more higher density light and vibration as we transition into that higher form of consciousness, into that other dimension that Earth is moving into. Remember, the Earth has a soul. I hate soul. She's alive, right? She's a being that we created, right? When you look out and you see the trees, there is a being in there, okay, that wanted to experience life in the physical world as a tree or a frog or a snake. They're all beings. So we will populate the planet, and we will use AI with ruthless efficiency. It will be amazing. Diseases that you once thought incurable, like Alzheimer's, other things, right, will be as simple as the common cold. You know, there will be no more suffering. There will be no more anything but unconditional love. It will be a beautiful place, but we are not allowed to be there. Everybody that's on this planet will never see the golden age. So, and the reason is because we've been indoctrinated and victimized into this horrific society. The church did it to us, that deliberately kept us into a low vibrational state by fooling us into believing that we were worthless and sinners and would be lucky if we are saved, right? So, thus, creating what for all of you? Fear. Fear is low energy. It's going to keep you down there, right? Because some will say, well, I got to get out of jail free. I get to get it, Jesus died for me. No, they know it's a sham and they know it's a scam. So they keep you low. And then we live in the society that we created here in the West is also oppressive, with only 1% of the population that can go and do whatever they want whenever they want, while the rest of us are suffering horrifically, barely being able to feed ourselves, take care of our children. What is that doing? Yo, hello. It's also keeping you in a low vibrational state where you're meant to stay. It's done on purpose. We hold the power, ladies and gentlemen. We need to rise above that. You need to believe in yourself, in who you are. Like when you're done with this and you look at yourself in the mirror, I'm a God. I have the power to change everything. I have the power to change my physical thoughts and create a beautiful dream. Fumble Bunny, you are very welcome. So you are powerful. Don't sell yourself short. Rise above that. Rise above it. And believe in yourself. Believe in who you are. Believe that you are not abandoned, that you are not alone, that you are fiercely loved and fiercely protected in every way, shape, and form, every millisecond of the day. Okay? You are fiercely protected and loved. And I strongly suggest that you go within, meditate, find yourself. What are your thoughts on hallucinogenic drugs like DMT, LSD? They possibly could. I know ayahuasca, there's a lot of people that have tried ayahuasca. That's a natural substance that can put you into a good trance that will allow you to, when you're meditating, to go really, really deep. And I'm going to try that experience soon. I feel myself moving out west. I just feel this urge. It's been stronger and stronger every day. So when I get out to Arizona, New Mexico, then I'm going to look into that. And I am going to do that because my meditations and my manifestations have been coming true. So could they help? I wouldn't go with those psychedelics. I would more go with a natural, like maybe try CBD, you know, where it's a natural hemp, a natural, something that grows out of, organically that you can take without it being, truly detrimental to your health. Because we need to take care of these vehicles that we're in, right? We only get the one, right? So this life matters. So we need to treat it as, a beautiful, pristine platform that we're in, right? So I wouldn't go with those, but I would try something else. Mushrooms are more psychedelic, It's, I mean, you could try them. I would really go into like a CBD store and try Delta 8 or Delta 9. Every once in a while, I take them for insomnia. But I've been really going with the herbal teas, and they have really been. I've been listening to theta music. Oh, theta waves. Oh my God. I've been sleeping like now 6 to 7 hours a night. It has been absolutely wonderful. But I would try ayahuasca or CBD. Delta 8 or Delta 9 would really work. Get away from that crap, you know. But I don't know, for me here in Wisconsin, in the Midwest, there's really no place around here for that. It's more out west, like Native Americans. So for me, I would meet with Native Americans and, have a little 3-day retreat and really get into this experience with a shaman and be guided, not on my own. So you don't have a freak out moment where it's, you know, you're watched and taken care of. Well, you're going to take some time off when you go home. So when you don't die, remember. So when you transition home and you shut down this vehicle and it's time to go home, and you go home, you're going to be there for a while. You need to relax. You need to hang out with your friends. You need to be with Father, be with Jesus, be with your soul family, travel different dimensions, different, go into higher civilizations and be yourself, be your true self, right? Without the ego, you're home. But now, if you do take too long, okay, Father's going to find you. Make no mistake about it, right? Because you signed that contract, and that's where the reincarnation comes in. Father will find you where you're at, and he'll say, come on, hon, it's time. Okay? That could be 10 centuries or 10,000, 20,000 years, right? But down here, it would only be could be anywhere from 30 to 100 years on Earth, right? But when we incarnate next, which won't be into the golden age, you're going to go backwards. And I have a very gut feeling, and I follow my intuition all the time. I feel like I'm going to be back in 500 BC. So my next incarnation is going to be back in what you would call, before Christ. So at home, you manifest anything you want instantly. As soon as before it even becomes a full-on thought, it's already there. So, and the reason we came here, one of the biggest reasons, the number one reasons we came here, because when we go home, we manifest anything, right? So if I want to manifest a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I'll turn it into a Tyrannosaurus Rex. If I want to be in a higher dimension with a higher form of life civilization, go see, higher life forms, I'll instantly be there, right? You can do that. So when we come here into the physical, when we're in this physical body, this physical realm, what are we here to learn how to do? Jesus did it beautifully. He mastered it, right? We came here to manipulate energy. What are we? We are simply consciousness, energy, right? But in the physical form, being cut off from home and not believing in ourselves, it's brutally difficult to do, right? Again, your thoughts create your reality, right? So we came here to manipulate energy. And when you master that, you can do exactly what Jesus did without doubts, without questions. Like right now, I am manifesting a beautiful life. It is coming. I'm being told every day through numbers, through different videos that pop up on my screens, that it's coming. They're telling me it's on its way. And I have no doubts in any way, shape, or form that it's coming. Excuse me, guys, that it's coming. All right. You have to believe without questions, hesitations, or doubts that what you want to be here. Say you all want to be a millionaire. If you say, Father, I really want to be a millionaire. Okay. Well, you have to believe that you're already a millionaire living a millionaire's life. But it's hard when you look at your bank account and you're saying, fuck, I'm $100 in the red. But you can't fall into that fear and say, well, see, I told you. No, that's what I'm talking about when you manipulate energy. You have to believe without questions, hesitations, or doubts that you are a millionaire, and you believe it. It will take time because we're not Jesus. Okay. This is new for a lot of us, including me. Even after my NDE, it's taken me 4 years to get to this point. All right. It takes work. Without that work, you're going to continue to come. You will jump back into this timeline again, and you will relive this life, but it will be harder. Why will it be harder? Because you haven't faced your fears. You haven't forgiven. You haven't faced them. You haven't done the work. And what I mean, when I'm doing the work for the last year and a half now, I am up at 2:00 in the morning before work. I start at 8. They wake me up. I'm up. I will sit on this very couch and I will meditate for half an hour or 40 minutes. I will try to get back to sleep. But before I go to bed every night between 7 and 8, I meditate again for another half an hour, 40 minutes. I am doing the work. I am doing these videos. I am creating my new reality that I'm going to be seeing very soon. Okay? So that's why we came here. We came here to manipulate energy. Why? We are that energy, guys. Okay? You have to believe in yourself as I believe in all of you because I love you. You are just different versions of me that I am projecting out into this world. It's a beautiful thing, guys. So, and it's it's not what you've been taught. You've been taught that you're a low life and scumbag, that you're barely enough to see God's feet. And it's the biggest lie that there's ever been. The moment you transition out of this body, you are not going to be laying in the dirt for God knows how long until, the book of Revelations comes through. No, you instantly go home. You know what your fears are. You know exactly what your fears are. Everybody knows what they're afraid of. Some people, even grown-ups, they're afraid of the dark. When they come home, before it even gets dark, the lights are on. And they won't go, if the lights burnt out in the basement, will they go down the stairs and go down there to get what they need? Nope. They're terrified. Some of you are terrified to lose your jobs. Some of you are terrified to get a divorce because you may lose everything. Everybody has to face those fears and realize that they're not true. Right? Like I said, when I gave that scenario, you walked into work, you were fired. Your wife isn't working. You just had a newborn. You're living paycheck to paycheck. Where's your rent going to come from? How are you going to buy groceries? If it takes you 2 months, right? You're going to have eviction notices. You won't be able to feed the baby or formula or feed your wife. Fear. You have to face that fear and realize that it's not real, that you are creating it in your head. Remember, you are fiercely protected from home, from higher spiritual beings, fiercely loved and protected. So you have to face those, all right? And how you choose to do that is through love. Love yourself and say, when that happens, okay, Father, this just happened. I know it was meant for a reason. That door closed. Something better is coming. I trust in you. I believe in you. And follow your intuition. Everybody, your gut feeling is Father talking to you. It's your higher self talking to you. Follow it. Listen to it, no matter how crazy it may seem to people. Okay? You came here to work on you. You follow you. You do you. You listen to that gut instinct no matter what it is. If it's saying we got to pack up and move, then you pack your shit up and you move and you go. You follow that gut instinct. But know that something better is awaiting you. And that is how I get through everything. I know something better is coming. And that's why I no longer have fear. I refuse to let it enter my body. I refuse to let it enter my thoughts. So when people say they aren't afraid of anything, and if that's true, then maybe there are some out there that truly aren't. That if they lost their job, their house, their home, and they were living on the streets, they know that within a short period of time, they would be okay. And I'm the same way. If they came in here, took everything from me, threw me out on the street, I know another door is going to open very soon and that I will be taken care of. It's an illusion, just like time. Time is an illusion. When I left my body and I died, time ceased to exist. I was simply home. I knew where I was and it was fine. I could have been there 5 seconds, 5 hours, 10 years, who knows? But it it ceases to exist. We created time in the physical to make sense of this world that we created, right? So if somebody says right now where it is almost 8 o'clock at night here, right? How do we know it's night? Are you sure it's night? Who says it's night? you know. When you have an orgasm, if it's when you're using your sexual energy to its fullest, so no drinking beforehand, right? So any male vehicles in here, listen to me very carefully. All right, this is directly coming from Jesus. All right, so listen, guys, to the male vehicles. When you are going to be intimate with your partner, when you want to make love, no alcohol, no drugs, nothing. When you're with your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, same sex, heterosexual, doesn't matter. But for this case, man and woman, she needs to be warmed up. What Jesus wants to see from us, a lot of you, it's a lost art, okay? But we need to get back on track. Jesus wants to see us kissing, making out. It's called foreplay, right? Don't touch her kill zones. Kill zones, boobs, crotch, butt, right? Touch her, rub her, rub your hands through her hair and give her a gentle push or a pull on her hair. Kiss her neck, make out, rub her body. Don't be afraid of her, right? Touch her, let her roll over on her tummy, rub her back, rub her sides, rub her butt, rub her legs, touch her, kiss her on every part of her body, just not the kill zones yet, right? Come back to kissing, making out, looking in each other's eyes, right? Kissing her some more, touching her, rubbing her, right? And warming her up to the point where she grabs a hold of you and pulls you on top, right? And then when you are swapping bodily fluids while you are making love, sweating, wrapped up in each other, guess what disappears? The whole world disappears, right? No more problems, no more kids, no more bills, no more cars, no more this, no more that. You are in eye contact, you are kissing, you are being intimate, right? And some of you will have experienced this of the female vehicles, okay? When you begin to orgasm, right? You will arch your back and you eyes will roll back in your head and you will grunt, you know, you will let and you will roll over and cry, right? And you will curl up in the fetal position. Your legs are shaking and trembling, right? And you've had the most amazing orgasm. And in that moment, you went home. If he said, "Are you okay?" you won't be able to tell him because you don't understand where you were. Now, guys, that can happen to us with strong orgasms when she does a lot of foreplay with you, right? It's about taking your time with one another. So, Jesus wants to see the reason that our divorce rates are so high, okay, is because we don't take time to know one each other. We're so, and let's get the pants off and go in. No, no. When I found my twin flame, I didn't touch her intimately for a year. Okay. I kissed her, I held her hand, we made out, and I would not touch her. And I had no idea why this was happening. But for 1 year, I did not touch her sexually. And she finally got frustrated and said, "Are you gay? I mean, are you I'm like, "No." She goes, "Oh my God, I've never had such a hard time getting somebody." But it wasn't about that because when she rolled her eyes into the back of her head, right? And she rolled over crying, literally crying. That's why. Because I would warm her up to such a degree that it was a unbelievable experience for her. I had no idea what the hell was going on or what I was doing, but again, with the whole twin flame, that was my other I found literally myself. She is my divine feminine in my own consciousness, right? So that is why we're so connected, and she's coming. I can feel it. But when you find your twin flame, it's you finding the other half of yourself, your mirror, as I told you this, right? So when you get her warmed up, guys, and you really get her going and you're really intimate with her and you really take your time, don't be afraid to kiss her body, her armpits, her neck, her ears, her face, her sides, her legs, her toes, every part of her. Touch, hold her, rub her, and then she will let you know when she is ready. Trust me. And you can give her a full body orgasm that could last a week, 6 months, even a year. Okay? This is the sexual energy that I'm talking about. And that's why in the video that I talked about pornography, it's condemned. Why is pornography condemned? Because it keeps you from what I was just explaining, right? It keeps you from going home and having that beautiful experience. So what does the non-physical want to see us doing? Mating. What's mine is yours. What's yours is mine. End of subject. God does not see it any other way. Okay? They want to see us mating. Why? It's the highest frequency. It's love. It's a way home for all of us. It is divinely given to us by Father. The church made it filthy and ugly and disgusting, made it a sin. Why? That's what Jesus was teaching. You want to go home? These are the ways. Follow. When he said, I am the truth, I am the life, I am the way, right? Not meaning that he is the only way to get home. No, he's telling you that, listen to me, these are the ways to go home. He was a master at love. He mastered love. He mastered the body. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, he mastered sex. Him and his wife, Mary Magdalene, were twin flames. They were beautiful. They loved it. They had two daughters and a boy. They had children. He was a father. He was a man of flesh and blood, no different than this kind of vehicle. But he was a master at what he did. And that is why Father chose him for that specific mission, because he was higher up on the ladder. No different. It was just like if you look at an infant and then you look at somebody graduating college, are they any different? No. One's just further along on their journey. Jesus was further along on his journey than we were. That's why he was chosen. I could not do his job. Even now, with the knowledge I know, I could not do it. There's no way I could do it. I could not understand how brutally hard that must have been, especially 2 millennia ago when the church had the power to kill at a whim. Even 800 to 1,000 years ago during the Crusades, the church had the power to kill. So when you orgasm, it is a direct way home. Just don't watch pornography. So if any of you guys are in a relationship, it doesn't matter, same sex, whether you're married or not, if you are in love and you want to mate, don't use alcohol, don't use drugs, don't use cigarettes. And guys, take your time with her. Take your time with her. Touch her, hold her, caress her, bite her, nibble her. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, taste her. It is beautiful. And the non-physical is watching every second of it and going, yay, and loving every minute of us. They want to see us mating. So, without doubt, that is an absolute ride home, and as close as you will be, unless you can really get into deep meditation. And like last night, I was really into it and I could feel it. It's a way home. Everything that you need is right here. Right here. It's all within you. And that's why I say, look within. You will never find what you want out in this materialistic world. Remember what Jesus said. Do not fall in love with this materialistic world. It will bring you ruin. It is meant to distract you. It's meant to make you fall and stumble. It's meant to bring you and draw you in. When exactly you're being drawn into the wrong thing. You need to go within. Like now, I can't, that's why I don't watch TV. Every time I drive, billboards, oh, get this, get the newest, latest shoes. Oh, get this bigger house. It's all meant to distract you from who you truly are, a divine, powerful being, right? So I want no more part of this materialistic world. I have no need of it or want of it. I am sick of it. I am sick of seeing and having to deal with money. I'm having to deal with, I need to go buy, I need a new Jeep. I need a new, I need this. I'm tired of saying that. I am sick of it. And I don't. I live very, very, minuscule, So get away from that. Go within, find yourself, and you will realize how little you need out in the physical world. And what truly matters to you in abundance is love. And if you want wealth, if you want a good home, if you want a good wife and a good partner or whatever, it's right here. You got to tell yourself that you are worthy of it, that it is there. And I mean, not just once or twice. I've been doing it for a year and a half. Okay. It will take time to manifest because that's what we came here to do. Manipulate energy to find ourselves, because we are pure consciousness. We are energy. Energy cannot be destroyed. It's just transitioned from one form to another, right? So use that and use that energy as love and create a beautiful dream for yourselves, which is what I am in the process of doing. And that is what I came here to share with all of you. And I know, you may get frustrated. I am. And I realized the other day that I'm not ready yet to be where I want to be. I know more knowledge and more wisdom is coming. I have to be patient. My manifestations are there, but when the non-physical says it's time, then I will get it, right? But I believe without question or doubt that it's coming. I will not deny it in any way. And that is what we came here to do, right? And that is why I have no longer have a love for this physical world. I'm not lonely, even though I've been by myself now since 2015. Those first 5 years were very hard. I became homeless. I was living in after the divorce because she became a nurse and made very good money. I was homeless. I was living in my car. I was showering in a porta potty, so I was shaving and throwing up and vomiting, and I was living in the back of my vehicle. Those 5 years were brutally hard. And then in 2020, I died. And then my life profoundly changed. And I've been alone since then, since 2015. But since 2020, I'm never alone. I have my guides with me. I feel them. I tingle all the time. I just go within. So whenever you are lonely, if you are single, if any of you are single, and you're looking for a good partner, again, it does not matter if it's same sex or heterosexual. It does not. That non-physical and your father does not care. Love is everything. Okay? They do not care. So when you are manifesting, say, Father, I am ready to be loved. I am ready for a partner. I am ready for someone to come into my life that I can share my life with, that I can make love to, that I can build a beautiful dream. Give it to the non-physical, all right? And I promise you, without questions or doubts, if you believe in it, that person will arrive. So I am very comfortable being alone. It does not bother me at all. But that time is coming to an end because I'm going to be on the world stage, not just this, but out and about. But I also know my twin flame is coming very soon. Probably by the end of the year, she'll be here with me, reunited. And that will bring in, new things. And so I just enjoy my time alone. I'm constantly talking with Father, with the non-physical, and tell them how grateful I am for everything that I have in my life, my health, my humble little home, the food in my refrigerator, a vehicle that works, a meager job that is getting me by at the moment. I am grateful for everything that is in my life, for all of you who have loved and supported me and have at times financially supported this channel. I am beyond grateful for. So I'm being held as a hermit for a reason, because I have to go through these things. This knowledge has to come. And when it does, you will see me on the world stage, and things will begin to change. So just call on Father, call on your guides, and just say, look, guys, I don't want to be alone anymore. I want to love. I want to be loved. But you have to believe in it. Okay? So believe in it. And that person will arrive when the time is right. Not when you want to, when the time is right for both of you, meaning that you're both okay up here, right? That you're okay in your thoughts. Again, your thoughts create your reality, guys. So that's how I deal with it. I'm very okay with it. I love being alone. It is very peaceful and comforting to me. Even though I know I'm not alone, I feel them. I just had a spiritual experience last weekend. See this glasses case right here? This is cute, okay? So last over a week ago, this went missing. It was sitting next to me on the couch. When I went to go to bed, it disappeared, like nowhere to be seen. I had gotten up to go get something. When I came back down, I was done meditating. I went to look for it. It was gone. Gone for a week. Last Saturday, a week ago, about this time, I went up and I was cleaning some dishes. I was sitting at the computer. I was gaming. I was taking some time off for myself. And I was sitting there all day in front of that keyboard, playing, having fun, being jovial. I came back and this was sitting on my keyboard. This exact case that was missing. So the pranksters up there took it, and they were just letting me know that I'm listening to you. I sat there for 6 hours at my computer. That wasn't there. I was using the keyboard. When I came back from washing dishes, that was sitting on top of my keyboard. Where did that come from? They took it. When I mean they, the non-physical. I'm never alone, guys. And I'm fiercely loved and fiercely protected. And that brings me absolute comfort. When I go to bed, I know I'm divinely protected and that nothing can hurt me and that I am my own worst enemy. Right? So a couple more questions, guys. Thanks for showing up. This was, again, unplanned. I wanted to do it last night, but I was so tired that I just simply passed out. So what you guys got? So don't be afraid of sex, guys. All right? It is your divine right, God-given to you. Enjoy it. And that includes self-love, masturbation, but just don't use. And girls, to the female vehicles, they do this all the time, right? Because they're not as visual as men are. So what do they do when they masturbate, right? They go under their heads, right? They create that scene, that last lovemaking scene, but they'll add something to it or this or that, right? And they're in their own heads. Beautiful. What are they doing? They are creating. And that's what, allows them to finish. Guys, I was using porn my whole life until I found out Jesus said it's condemned. I will never look at it again in any way, shape, or form. So go into your heads. You're a God. Create it. No matter what you may think it is, create it. And enjoy it. Self-love. It's just as beautiful. Absolutely. So enjoy your sensuality. It's beautiful. It's God-given. Be free with it. Be open. Be loving. Right? Because that is all that matters, ladies and gentlemen. Love. Love is everything. You guys are welcome. Any other questions before I go? Gotta have something. There's something else I wanted to say. No, I think I got everything out that I wanted to say. It was mainly the demon stuff that doesn't exist. So if anybody brings that up to you, say, oh, demons exist. No, they don't. No. They only create, remember this, if you remember anything, and it's a good example, it's a beautiful example. Your heart is heaven, it's home. Hell are your thoughts. Change your thoughts from darkness to love and light. Heart and mind are one. Heaven, hell. That is correct. Did Jesus tell me not to watch porn? Porn is condemned. That is correct. You're not being judged for watching it, but as they said, when you have an orgasm, will it be the closest way to go home? You will never reach a full body orgasm with your partner. It is simply the ego. Pornography is dark energy, low vibration. So it'll bring your vibration down to a lower state. And that is why it is condemned. So yes, he did. And then I will also tell you this. Now, this comes directly from Father, from God, Source, Oneness. To every single one of you sitting here tonight, including me, why are you wearing clothes? God wants to know. Why are you wearing clothes? Not just now, but anytime. You're ashamed of yourself. Why? You stepped away from oneness. You feel guilty, ashamed of yourself. Kind of like, Adam and Eve, when he found out that he was naked and he covered up. When we're home, we don't have clothes. We're not ashamed. It's the ego. So it's the same thing with porn. Don't watch it. It'll keep you from going home. And when you're mating with your partner, that's what you want, right? You want to please her. You want to make her feel good. Well, why don't you make her feel beyond good and take her home? Why? To let her, curl up in a fetal position and cry because she just went somewhere she can't even possibly understand or tell you, right? That's what you want. That is why pornography is condemned. It keeps you from that. So don't watch it. And if you do, you won't be judged for it. They understand. But they also understand that the ego has full control of you, and that's all that it is. One more. And then I will let you guys go and let you enjoy your Saturday night. I'm going to go back to gaming because I'm having a good time. So all of you, get used to your bodies being naked. Walk around naked. Take your clothes off. Okay? It's we in this stupid, horrific society that said being naked is bad. No, it's not. How many of you females, well, if you're on a beach, would like to be topless or walking down the street when it's 100 degrees out without a shirt on? I'm sure all of you would love it, but yet somehow it's bad? No. All of us wearing clothes is bad. It's wrong. We got everything backwards in every way, shape, or form. And that's part of what I'm trying to teach. We've got to fix this before in 10 years, that war is coming. And then that's it. We're all going to be removed. I would like to enter the golden age or those beings that are left peacefully and joyfully. And I don't want this to happen. So any other questions? No? All right. Well, guys, I love you. Thanks for showing up. I love being at Unplanned, and I'll try Fridays because, people are just busy on the weekends, but I love you guys. Thanks for all your support. If you guys have any questions on a video that you would like me to do, put that out there. All right, put it in the comments. I read them. You know I do, guys. I respond to 90% of them. I can't get to them all, but I do. I read them. So put them what you want me to talk about in there, and I'll get to it. I love all you guys. And for all of you that have supported this channel financially, I'm forever in your debt. I never thought I would even get this far, but I'm truly honored. Thank you for showing up on a Saturday night and giving me your time. I love you all very much, and I will catch you next time, all right? Goodbye, guys. I love you.